Hold it. Can you hear me now? All right, the levels are popping. Yep. We're here.
We're still here.
We got the real cameras. We got the real audio board. So.
Real deal.
Yep.
Welcome to Tuesday. We are glad you're here. We're super fired up. We've got an incredible night planned for you. Andy's back in the house.
Yep.
Do you have some sound
yeah,
for that? All right. Andy's back in the house.
Yep.
And tonight we're going to talk about, I just called it, how many. So how many what, right?
Yeah,
how many appointments, right? Not the minimum amount, but how many? Like, what's the routine, the number, the drills? What's that part of the play? So we're going to talk a lot about that tonight. With Andy, we're going to do some promotions. We've got a $100,000 ring, Power Builder ring winner.
Yep.
Are they winner earners?
Yep.
SNSD Mario Arizona, which I typoed on his name.
That looks
Sorry
like
about that,
autocorrect.
Mario.
I think that's autocorrect.
I think it might have been autocorrect.
He just bought Arizona.
Oh, okay.
He owns Scottsdale. He owns Sedona. It's his.
Just bought the rest.
He bought it.
RVP Sylvia Robinson, and of course the rally, and Trish is in the house with us as well. We're super excited. Tell us everything. Oh, you guys need to talk to us.
Yeah. Hit us on social media. We want to see you on the cut to the social wall real quick if you can, Matt. Yeah. Since you're not doing anything. But yeah, if you want to end up on the social wall, you can see in the top right, it's going to tell you how to do it, and we've got a slide for that. But if you post on the Facebook page, Let's Get Bigger Go Home, at Let's Get Bigger Go Home on Facebook, or if you use our hashtag SNSD Factory on Twitter or Instagram, or if you want to wait for us to manually add it, you can send it to our text line, and we'll post anything you got on there. You got promotions, you got recognition. You want to talk about your why. You want to talk about why 2021 you're going to win big for your family, and this is when it's really going to happen. Tell us about it. Post about it. If as long as they're public, they're going to show up if you use our hashtag or use our, I guess, what do you call it, a tag in Facebook. I don't make the rules. It's what happened after, the Russians hacked everything or whatever it is. So
yeah.
Facebook decided to change and be different than Instagram, even though they're owned by the same company. So figure that out. Anyway, so turn in your promotions too, right? So
yes.
you can talk about it and make sure you recognize people. But if you go to getbiggergohome.com, go to the downloads page, you're going to see a promotion form where you can put in your promotions every week for your people. You can put it on there. We'll recognize them here. So you can recognize them on social media, and we'll recognize them on the broadcast. And if you want to see that that social wall that we showed, you can also go to getbiggergohome.com and go to the social feed, and you can see that there anytime. So we don't have to cut to it in the broadcast if you want to see whether it posted or not.
Yep. Goes up there quick. Rob's putting up the ones who come in by text. He's doing them the whole time we're standing up here. So you got lots of, you should get it, no problem, right? All right, clear off the board, Trish, for people who have already submitted for the rally. And let us begin. So RVPs only, right? We are asking the RVPs only to submit the number of people that you have engaged at this point. You're going to text 404-465-1830. Use the example that we've given you there, RVP, last name, and then the number of people. You can update this all through the evening until 8 o'clock. At 8 o'clock, we'll pick the top teams, and then we'll only be looking at those. So now's your chance. Get everybody rallied together. Get them all
I'm texting right now.
Rob's doing our team right now. So it's kind of fun.
There we go.
Right?
Yep.
So, and experts tell me they start the day before, if not 2 days before, working with their teams.
Yep. No, you got to. This is if you want to beat Belle DeRubio's ass, you better pack a couple lunches and be ready to turn out your people, because she's obviously doing the same things, and that's why she's a 15-time heavyweight champion of the world. One more, and she ties Ric Flair, 16-time heavyweight champion. So the greatest of all time, Ric Flair, the Nature Boy, going to get beat by Stone Bold Belle DeRubio. And
does she become the GOAT then?
Very well could be.
Right?
I mean, I don't know. She started to. It looked like it was going to go back to Walter, and then she just gapped him again.
But I will say, there's always room for everybody.
Yep.
So the playing game, the field is open.
Yeah. Bella didn't even start winning these things until, probably 20 weeks ago, maybe, at that.
Yeah. So she was not engaged right from the very beginning. So you can get engaged now, right? And if you are just a team of one, today's your first day. Let's get it rolling.
Yep. So here's the number one more time in case you missed it.
Yes.
Save it in your phone. 404-465-1830. 404-465-1830. We only want to hear from the RVPs. Later on, if you make it into the top teams, then we'll want the base shops to report out. But for right now, just the RVPs, just the brokers. Text us at 404-465-1830. Tell us who you are, otherwise we don't know, and tell us how many people you got watching. And feel free to send us another text to update that number as more of your people get plugged in later on in the broadcast, because I know some people got drives and commutes and stuff, and sometimes it's hard to watch TV on your phone, YouTube while driving.
Yes.
I mean, some people aren't really good at it like I am.
Oh, all right. Glad to know. All right, you guys.
Yeah, you see that BMW coming down the road, you just get out the way.
Get out of the way. All right, so I was like, we're going to talk about appointments and the number of appointments and hot market appointments, cold market, and the whole thing about the system and that part. And art, they put out an art video last week that was called It's All a Numbers Game, right? It's a numbers game. That's it. And so I thought, perfect timing,
perfectly aligned.
Right? Perfect aligned. So, Matt, if you'll go ahead and run that video.
Folks, you need to go on a recruiting blitz for 60 days like you have never gone on a recruiting blitz. I wish I could tell you what we're fixing to announce to you in the next 60 days, but I can't do it, okay? But I can just tell you that if you don't get some momentum, you're going to be sitting there kicking your butt all over the room. I'll tell you that, okay? This is big. It's a big damn deal, right? If you can't get excited about the magnitude of this thing, get yourself in gear like Rich and his team out in San Jose. Man, they ain't thousands of people out there. They ain't tens of thousands of people out there that are looking for this opportunity, right? They're millions, millions. Kelly ain't the only guy out there, okay, that wants to go out there and make $25,000 in 7 dadgum months a month, right? Man, this is a happening in America, folks. Let's get on a recruiting blitz for 60 days, and I promise you we're going to pay off for you. We're fixing to announce something that's going to turn your butt on like you can't believe. And folks, start thinking bigger. I don't care where you find yourself right now. So just listen to your leader, okay? I'm telling you, get out there and get you some recruit. If I were you, folks, I would truly forget about sales for 60 days because I think they're going to happen anyway, okay? Folks, don't even worry about sales. I mean, the great leaders I know could give a flying crap about sales. Sales are a result. Paychecks, or people go around saying, well, I'm starving to death. Well, you ain't starving to death because you ain't making sales this month. You're starving to death because you didn't recruit nobody last month. You're starving to death because you didn't pick no policies up last week, right? Sales and income are a result of doing the right kind of things on the front end. You can't make people buy. You can't go out there and make people do something to give you a dadgum paycheck. All you can do is go out there and offer people a better product, which we do, or offer people a dream, part-time dream, a full-time dream. That's the best thing they can do for their family. And if you go talk to people, you just go talk to people, then you're going to make a certain number of sales. You're going to make it. Does that make sense out there, you know? And the thing I love about A.O. Williams, I see promotions up. I see recruiting up. I see activity up. And once I see that, I don't give a flying crap about sales. It's going to be up because it just follows, okay? I would forget about everything but recruiting. I would flat get out there, and I would double and triple and quadruple and 10 times more recruits. You need to get some folks in that dadgum opportunity meetings. And I don't mean, folks, just a little old bitty growth. If you're recruiting 4 people a month, you go to 5 people and crap like that, okay? I'm talking about a recruiting blitz. I'd be calling emergency meetings and say, folks, there's something big in the works today at Williams, and we got to get our butt in gear, okay? So I'd be having some emergency meetings, and I'd be starting some recruiting blitz. And don't kid your dadgum self. Let's get in a building mentality, a booming growth mentality. Let's start upgrading all of your dadgum standards, right? Let's get in front of more people. It always has been, it always will be a numbers business, right? Those that talk to the most people, those that make the most presentations, pick up the most policies, most people an opportunity to meet, those people are going to always make the most money. And if you're not thinking bigger, if you're not, then you're not going to participate in this great happening. A.O. Williams is a sleeping giant, folks. It's fixing to thrust upon this country like you can't believe. But what about you? What about you? You know, in beating Prudential, now folks, let this sink in now. When we started A.O. Williams, February 10, 1977, we talked about being #1. We talked about beating Prudential. Now, folks, we were recruiting 5 or 10 or 15 people a month back then. We were recruiting 10 or 15,000. Now, you can't, if you just start something, or right now you find your business, right not where you want it, then, folks, you can't snap your finger. You can't go home and sit there and suck your thumb and feel sorry for yourself and say, well, boy, I wish I was as big as Mike Sharp or Rich Thawley or Bill Whittle or Neil Askew. That crap don't get it, right? The way you win is just inch by inch, okay? Next month, you got to be better than this month. Next month, you got to be better than this month, right? So back there at A.O. Williams, when we were, financial assurance was number 2,000 companies, about a 2,000. If we sat there feeling sorry for ourselves, next month we try to recruit 16 people instead of 15, and then 20, and then 30, and now all of a sudden we're #1 producer in the world. And we got 34 NSDs that are in the top 100 companies, right? And we're recruiting 10 or 15 or 20,000 people a dadgum month. But that happens because we had a goal of winning.
And I see people spending money building people. See, folks, if you spend your life as a leader in A.O. Williams, as an RM, an RVP, an SVP, an NSD, building a team, building leaders, building people, that's where you build your fortunes. That's where you become stone wealthy. If you spend your whole life building sales, concentrating on sales, then you don't ever build anything. Folks, you never build anything big. You never build anything secure. Salespeople are unemployed every day. You're not going to be better next month than you are this month. You're not going to be better 5 years now than you are right now.
I would go on a recruiting blitz for 60 days like you can't believe, and I would sit there and start doing some soul searching. I would upgrade my goals and expectations. This company is built for you to win, right?
Horse trading over here.
He's so in. Do you think you know now what
Yep.
is the game?
Yeah.
It's a numbers game. That's
Yep.
it. It's Andy's whole, would you like coffee? Would you like coffee? Would you like coffee? It's that whole drill. Super excited to find that. He's consistent in his messaging, Art is always. Just like Andy.
Yeah, Andy was getting fired up.
He was getting fired up. We are so glad you're back. He's he's in another, we've said he's in another time zone over there.
Yeah.
There he is, the great Andy Young.
Look out, look out, look out. All right, I think I'm looking, where am I looking? Right there, that's me. All right, great to be back, and just an amazing time in Primerica, an amazing time to really go for it. I mean, you think about, I was telling people, pretty much missed a year last year, and for a great reason, all that kind of stuff. Up in every category. Best business year in 40 years. Absolutely amazing. So, I mean, and this year is set up to be even better. It's crazy. What are you going to do? So, this is my last Christmas present from Pat, my Robert Graham shirt. She always gets me Robert Graham. That's my funky shirt. She always said I was dressing up a little bit more. 3X tall if you're looking, just saying, because I mean, I'm down to the end now, my threads. But anyway, one of the things that was interesting to me, we went out to the Rose Bowl, and Georgia's in the Rose Bowl, and they play that game against Oklahoma, win that, they go to the national championship. And was sitting out there at a bar, and John Addison was talking to a couple of the players' parents, and we were just talking. He's like, the fact that we even got here, we're at the Rose Bowl, the granddaddy of them all. This is so amazing where we are, what we're doing, and just been a great experience. And we're playing with house money. It's only Kirby's second year. We didn't expect to get this far, and we're playing with house money. Whatever happens, I mean, maybe we're going to win, maybe we're not, but, it's been a great year any way you cut it. And the players' parents are like, hell no, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. You get this far, you win. You get this far, you win. And I'm talking to y'all. It's 2021. You've gotten this far. I don't know how you got wherever you got to where somebody puts you on the Zoom, on this program, but at the end of the day, you got to choose what level you're going to play at. Is this your Super Bowl or not? And it's not house money, and I've done pretty well, made a few dollars. Are you going to build something? That's why at Get Bigger and Go Home, we're an SNSD factory. Oh, and that's exactly right. Where if you want, and I told this to Glenn Williams, put my input in, that dadgum, I'm happy for the ruby ring. And I'm happy for all the people that are getting it. And that's, used to get, one every quarter and one every other month. And I think somebody every week, and maybe it's going to be every 2 or 3 days. But if you're doing it with a big trade, $3, $4 million, and 50 on your pen, and all this other crap, I measure crap by like the senior leadership meeting. From 6 separate legs, I had 41 people qualify for senior leadership. I mean, I want layers of players. You want to build a business, and when I finished building, I had 29 firsts. And that carried me for over 30 years. I didn't even work for half those years. Didn't build anything, didn't do op meetings, because I built it up front. We were doing 5, 6, 800,000 through the third. And I'm telling you, that business is bulletproof. And so I said, we need to turn the volume up. Don't stop the ruby ring. Everybody's excited about all that. But if you're not careful, they're not going to stay where they are. And so be bulletproof. So let's turn the volume up a little bit on SNSD. That's where all the comp is. It's where all the stock is, every layer and every level. And being circle of champions, man. You get yourself 18 first. And I know they set up a couple backdoor ways you can get it. I don't know why they did all that. But 18 first, 500 through third. When you build that and put it in place, that sucker's going to roll on for a long time. And so it's your choice what you want to build. You got to play like your hair's on fire. One thing that's pissed me off the other day, my daggum beloved Packers. And I know we got some haters out there, but you know, there's only 4 teams that got down to the Final Four. But the thing that pissed me off is you got Aaron Rodgers, MVP of the league probably, and he was playing lackadaisical. They're coming after him like their hair was on fire, and they're hurrying him and knocking down passes. He getting sacked. I mean, if it was the first time, the second time, third time your ass got sacked, hey, they're coming after you. Roll out and run. You could do all that crap. You got to play at a different level of intensity like the other team, because the other team was a 5 seed. They weren't supposed to even be there. But they played a tougher, stronger, more intense game, and that's going to be what's going to carry you through. You either get more intense on your game when you're in the game. Where you're supposed to be there. I don't care if I was watching Let's Make a Deal at 10, Price is Right was 11, America Says at 6, Wheel of Fortune at 7, and Jeopardy 7:30. That's what Pat wanted to do every day. Sat there, I didn't have my daggone phone looking at crap, pull out my iPad. I mean, I'd rather get beat with a hammer than watch game shows. Matter of fact, outside of maybe a football game, I ain't never watched TV in my whole life. My mother used to say he's crazy. I'd rather go outside, play something, do something, go make some money, paper boy, all that kind of crap, cut grass, shovel snow, all day long. You know, he clearly don't think like everybody else. Well, you got the MVP of the league, but he didn't play like that. And you got Tom Brady, 6 years older. It's like he's got one more chance, you know. Loose, get 3 interceptions, but kept on fighting. Took chances. You know, we're going to punt. No, we ain't going to punt. We're going to go for it. And that's what you got to do. You got to choose. Are you going to go for it right now? You got to play up to your level, the highest level. Most of you don't even know what your highest level is. Like Winston Churchill in World War II, you know. Prime Minister Churchill, we're going to have to do our best to win against the Nazis. Get bombed every night. We have to do our best. I'm afraid our best won't be good enough. We're going to have to do what's required. Well, it's time to start thinking about doing what's required, you know, and be in a position. And we had the hospice, you know, hospital at the beach. Yeah, it's like 15, 20 grand a month. I mean, you get all that set up. But it's not only that. Every now and then a nurse wouldn't show up for a shift. Well, you supposed to have that covered, and had to get covered. You know, Joanna Richard up there. Joanna cooked breakfast every day, which was wonderful. Had breakfast at 9. Cooked a great breakfast, you know, and she was in charge of drugs for most of the time early on. And then to make sure they all got administered, you know, all that kind of crap. And everything else that had to get done around there. Randy cooked, you know, and then Barbie came up and she became the chief nurse for the last probably week, 10 days, you know. Not an easy thing to do at the end. But everybody pitched in. And, you know, we laughed at each other. Joanne said something about me and Randy. We had a room we shared, 2 beds, not one. We did not have one twin bed. We had 2 separate beds. But Randy and I were sharing. She's like, it's a mess in there. So we started calling her housekeeping. Housekeeping. She cleaned up. She did so many wonderful things. And so, you know, and put up with the crap. Because when you haven't lived with somebody 56 years, you go back, except you're all older. But, I mean, what a rewarding experience, because I've heard probably 20 different stories since I've been back about people that can't send anybody in a hospice or a nursing home. Their family go say goodbye through the window. Can't touch them. We didn't go through that crap, and it was a team effort. And so you got to decide what level are you going to play at. Are you going to be in position when it's time to be in position to make your contribution? Are you going to, you know, watch everybody else get all that? And I choose not to do that. You got to make a decision what level you want to play at, and quit avoiding the real work. I told people when I was down in South America, let me check my time here. All right, man, moving right along. But I was down there, they gave me this funky goat cheese. I know we talk about the goat. A bunch of goats in the back. There's cheese. Man, I had a funky smell like, and they put it on my plate, and I ate it and didn't even chew it. And they, while I wasn't looking, they said, he loves it, and put another big old thing on my plate. Eat the crap first and get it over with. Quit avoiding it. You know, Mark Marchesani told a great story when they're talking, him and his wife talking about going prospecting, setting appointments. And they start looking around, it's like, oh, we could paint the kitchen this weekend. All the crap you can think of that you can do other than what you're supposed to do, that's what people do in the business. That's how people lose. I'm talking about face-to-face, hot appointments, best friends, people you can say, get in the car. You got to meet with people, that kind of stuff. And you got to go through the numbers. It's about going to district, becoming a double-digit recruiter so you can produce districts. Because the only way a district gets promoted is producing a district. When they went to districts, they know how to do that. This business ain't that damn hard. Produce a district, go to district. Give yourself 10 recruits, you got a couple people go to district. You get 6 direct districts, you go to RVP. And if you're a senior national sales director like I was already, making over $1 million a year, I'm going to go out and build again, which meant me as a senior intergalactic whatever, I had to go find some daggum districts. That's what this business is. But you're not going to do with that, like Art just said, without the numbers. Embrace the numbers. Go out there and get it done. Everybody, I've had all kinds of people give me their 2021 resolutions, game plan. And I told them, I said, till you show me where, and if you're part-time, 5, 10 hot appointments a week, get moving, 20 appointments, you full-time, serious, you want to go to SNSD, all that good stuff, make $1 million a year, you better be doing 30, 40. I'm talking about you, like I did. There were 5,000 appointments set up, 4,000 of them held, because they were hot market appointments. And I did that work. I did more appointments than almost anybody I know for a few years in the Atlanta project. Well, how you get 22 RPs? Because you go through the numbers. Like Keith Odger said, what do you think about this, man? This guy looks good, that guy looks good. It's like, I don't think nothing. Put a uniform on them, let's see what they're going to do, and go get the job done. And so you got to make those appointments, put them in place, and understand that until you're doing 30, 40 appointments a week. How do you do that? Start with 5. I know some of you are like, oh my God. Okay, then get 5 this week. And then get 7 or 8 till you get 10. I promise you, you start doing 40 a month, 35, 40. And my good friend Sylvia, I was going to talk about this when I introduce her later, but I talked to 722 people in 19 days. And she actually came to me and said, I'm running your play. And I said, tell me about it. And she said, well, I've talked to 19 people. Well, 19 was one of the numbers, but I didn't talk to 19 people in 722 days. I talked to 722 in 19 days. And that's playing like your hair's on fire. Because if people see that and see that in your eyes, they're going to know you're serious. They'll know it. And I don't care what your presentation is. If you don't have that intensity about you, they ain't going to buy in. But they get scared and nervous. Even your friends, hot market, they get nervous. What's different? What happened? What's going on? And I pull it away from them. Don't worry about it. You may know somebody might be looking. Well, I might be interested. Probably not. I mean, almost to the point where very quickly you start taking away from them. Are you going to get on fire? Are you going to run the play? Are you going to get beat more? And at the end of the day, this is no time in Primerica to get your ass beat. This is no time like Aaron Rodgers played lackadaisical and, oh, they're coming after me again. His ass better be running before they start coming after him. And that's the way you play the game to win. And if you're going to win at a high level, you got to give it all you got. The bad news is it's going to take all you got. The good news is it's only going to take all you got. So you got what it takes. You just got to do it. Put it on the field. Leave it on the field. So anyway, with that, let me turn it back to Darla and Rob.
All right.
Right.
Thank you for the warm-up. That is awesome. Okay, you guys, I pulled off some promotions off the database. Go out to getbiggergohome.com, out to the promotions download tab. They're right there at the top. Put in all the promotions you have. If you've got a promotion that is not in the list, which you might have a watch or a ring, we'll want to recognize those as well. You can just send an email, and I think we'll catch it. Right, Trish?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tickets at nightglass.com.
Tickets at nightglass.com, our favorite email ever. Do you want to bring us an update?
maybe just or tell us the number of teams, or what do you want to do?
She would like to bring us an
She didn't
update.
have
Here she comes.
I'm breaking stuff. All right, so we're going to start off with just a list of the RVPs that have reported in at this point. So we've got McKeever, Parkhurst, Bell Rice, Whitmere. It's not a one.
We're like
I'll get it.
Studio Rusty.
I did the right
Talking to my lapel.
There you go. All right. McKeever, Parkhurst, Bell Rice, Whitmere, Berryman, Ottinger, Marshall, Muse, Rubio, Janke, Hall, Peel, Richmond, Cynthia Thompson, Craig Lane, Sheridan's, Shakar, Trin, Catan, Malone, Reljak, Tejada, Andrews, Duncan, Langston, Red, Bynum, Beth Bynum, Cheeks, Lewis, Jefferson, Gupta, Robinson, Malika, Kahana, Risby, Chung, Travis, Martin, Marmolejo, Schmidt, Snavely, Florinord, Goodman, King, Julian, Espinosa, Nguyen, Walker, Cofer, Nadal, Lane, that's Vince Lane, and then the Shaws, Tanya Searcy, and Costanzas.
Wow.
Those are all that have reported in.
Already
I'm
through
sure
2
there's-
pages of
it's-
RVPs
it's
before the first
Clicking
segment.
over there as I speak.
Run. Kind of miss
All right.
some of those people that we
Yeah.
used to see in Winston-Salem
Yeah.
long, long ago.
So that number stays the same as it was earlier, but in case you missed it, you want to text us and tell us how many people you've got. RVPs only at this point. RVPs only. That number is 404-465-1830. Please save that in your phone if you're an RVP. Now, with that,
Yes.
I think it's time to hand it back over to
I
Andy
do.
to introduce our special guest.
Yes.
All right, he's back. And what an exciting time. I mean, not only at Primerica, but you talk about different people who made an impact in the company. I mean, it's one thing to be a player. You can be a bench player, you can be a scout team. I mean, all of them are needed. I don't care. People used to laugh at, like, the water boy. In the movie The Water Boy, they're knocking him over, ha ha. There's not a football player in the world knock a water boy over and the water bottle. I mean, they want the dadgum water boy. They want, some water when they're playing a game. We need fans in the stands, people park the cars, the vendors, got the cheerleaders. Let's stop and take a moment and reflect about the cheerleaders. I mean, they're real special. Yeah, come on. That's exactly right. Okay, that was a good one. I'd like to match later. And play the fight song. Well, that's the band playing the fight. Well, the fight song means you kicked a field goal or scored a touchdown. You want to hear the band. You want to hear your fight song too. It takes everybody. But then there's special few people. And I already talked about it. Tom Brady going to his 20th Super Bowl and 10th. I probably will down the road. 10th Super Bowl in 20. That's insane. That's insane. And I've had a few haters. They're like, and I mean, I like to, analyze the game, but I've had so many people tell me, he's just lucky, or he's a pain in the ass, or he's a punk. He's like, he ain't no punk going to the Super Bowl 10 times in 20 years and winning 6 of them, probably winning 7th. And there's few people to come along. A.L. Williams, we had those early folks. And over the years, we've had, opportunities where people fill different roles and shoes to go, lead the company, and had so many of them do that. And at a time, when John Addison came through and got things moving and get this IPO, this couple really was just an amazing addition to everything this company became and what we are today. And we're just getting ready to launch. And everybody knows that. It's like, you've been in the company 40 years. It'd been good if I got in when you got in. No, my best year in 40 years was last year. And because of my sister and crap I went through, I had to even take pretty much most of the whole year off, and it was my best damn year. Every way you want to measure it, recruits, premium, and what kind of business is that? So this couple came through, and I got to meet them at several different, and you got to win the big trips, man. We met in places we don't live, usually in bars, and he had his little entourage. He had his sister-in-law, Murr, and Billy Garcia, and he's a CRMF. I'll explain that never. But, and then, dadgum Tony, and Tony's got this joke, which I'm going to rip his head off one day about, but I'm going to wait till I can really get it. So many fun, hilarious experiences that we've had down the road. And we ain't done, man. You got to put yourself in position. And so Mario Arizona, I think we got you there in Las Vegas somewhere, right? Look at Mario. And it looks like a vault with a bank behind you, probably sitting in the bank. We misspelled your name because Darla, and I think it went to spell check earlier in the program. I don't know if you saw it, but it said Mario Arizona. And she's like, oh, crap. And I said, no, you didn't hear? He bought Arizona. He's got
That's right.
Scottsdale. He's got Sedona, Flagstaff. He owns the whole state now. Yeah, it's Mario, Arizona. But talk about, if you don't mind, what you were doing. I'm going to go back to the kid thing right after this. What were you doing right before you came into Primerica?
Thank you so much, first of all, Andy, for this huge honor. You're a hero of mine and my wife and our entire organization. You changed our life, and what an honor, honestly, to be here. So I found a way to make sure I get on here, and hopefully the reception's good. But yes, before I got started with Primerica, I was actually 19 years of age. I was scared to death. I didn't know what I wanted to do, Andy. They would tell me, go to school, get good grades, and go get a, for you can get a good job. And there was only one big problem with that. I couldn't get good grades. As a matter of fact, I was so behind in school. That's how I met my wife, Franny. I was in the 11th grade class. I was a junior in her freshman class, and I still was copying off of her. And if it wasn't for Franny at the time, I wouldn't have graduated. So I graduated high school finally, and I graduated late, by the way. I didn't get to walk on stage like they say. Like, I didn't get to do that. I had to do like continuing. I forgot what they call it, but I didn't even get to graduate like other kids. It sucked. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was embarrassing. And I was going to college, and honestly, I didn't know why. Just to be honest with you, I just wanted to impress my parents. They would ask me, Mario, what are you going to major in? And you know what I would say? Right now, I'm just doing my general ed. And know what that means? I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with my life. That's what it means. If someone says I'm just doing my general ed, it's because we don't know what we're going to do, and we're scared to death to invest so much time, so much money into something that we're going to have to do for the rest of our life and see if we even love it. So what I was doing, I was working at a flea market, helping my father. I had a job too, working at Ralph's, and I was just in and out doing different things. And all of a sudden one day, my dad's like, hey, I found something. This is it. You're going to be super rich. And I'm like, what is it? Like, just show up on Tuesday. It's an awesome meeting. And I showed up. I used to hang out back then, Jay-Z, I used to think I was half Hispanic, half black. I didn't know what I was. And I used to hang out with all the cool black kids. So I thought I was black too. So I back then the style was to have baggy pants, Timberlands, 2 earrings on, my hat. And they sat me in this professional meeting with 10, 15 people in there. And they sat me right in the front, Andy. And honestly, I was like, everyone was looking at me like, who brought this kid, right? And man, every time the presenter would present, he would get lost. Art Carry-On would be like, and honestly, it's perception is everything. I seen him like, man, the main guy, every time he looks at me, he gets thrown off. He's like, I think he sees something in me, because I was fired up. I thought the meeting was super boring until he started speaking, and it lit me up. It inspired me that I could do something big with my life. And that's how I joined at 19, and I didn't look back.
Yeah, that's great. And, Nick Saban just won his 6th national championship in 12 years, and head and shoulders above everybody, just past Bear Bryant. And they asked him after the game, what keeps you going? Are you kind of tired? Are you going to hang it up? The game, he's still on the field. And he just goes, it was a rewarding season because we didn't think we were going to have the season. We had to do so much crap with the COVID. This team came together. It was so different. And I love the players. I love the team. I love, watching a team come together like these guys did. He said, but one of the things is, we won 6 out of the last 12 years. He said, but we actually lost 2 national championships in the last 12 years. Wow. And he said this on live TV right after the game. He goes, and I could spend 2 days talking to you about the 2 losses we had because I hate losing more than I like winning. I love to win, but I hate losing. And I could tell you every play that happened in those dadgum games because I'd love to have them back and just, like I said at the beginning of my open, Aaron Rodgers didn't play like his hair was on fire. Tom Brady and the Bucs did. They knew they were the 5th seed, not the 1st seed, and you got to give it everything you got. You got to have that passion. Hate to get beat. So I want to step back a little further because you're at the flea market, but the early flea market, your incentive program that you had in the teddy bears, and what a kid that, almost like Ralphie in the Christmas Story. You shoot your eye out, I don't care. Talk about that kid at the flea market and the deal your mom and you had.
Man, I remember like it was yesterday. I'm by the way, Andy, I'm the oldest of 9 siblings between my mom and dad. Unfortunately got a divorce when I was 5 years old, and it was me and my little brother Johnny from the same parents. And both of my parents remarried, and they started competing who can have more kids. So I'm the oldest of 9. Okay. And I remember being the oldest, and my mom and dad, they would like, what kind of example are you? What kind of example? Like your grades, look at the people you're hanging around with. And always I had so much pressure. But when it came to like helping my parents, like I never got a chance to play any sports, even though I was very competitive. I was really good. Regardless if I was vertically challenged, right? And I'm not short, damn it. I'm just down to earth. Don't hate on me because I'm down to earth and you're not, okay? But look, I remember, I couldn't play those sports. I would help my parents working in flea markets, and on weekends, Andy, and holidays where most kids look forward to the holidays. I hated the holidays. What kid says that? Why? Because I had to work, and sometimes I had to get embarrassed. Sometimes I remember I was out there selling teddy bears, flowers, depending what the occasion was. We did whatever it takes. And some kids were so freaking mean to me. They would make fun of me. They would tease me. And honestly, I remember as a kid, you're not going to believe, but as a kid, I hated my life sometimes, man. But I never showed my brothers. I never showed my parents because I was the example. But man, there are so many nights I fell asleep crying, man. Like, dude, God, why are we so poor? I remember I remember praying to God. I'm like, God, why do you hate me so much? Why'd you take away my hero from me? Why'd you take my dad away from me? Why are we so poor? And I'm short. Like, come on, God, at least give me something. You may make me tall, give me something. But you know what he was doing, Andy? He was preparing me for my destiny. And I remember those days. But I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I'm super grateful for those days because I never forget where I come from. Absolutely not.
And so your mom made a deal like you got to sell one more. How many teddy bears? What was the deal? For you to get something?
My mom had deals for like tennis shoes. My mom, we had deals like, okay, like for like, all right, do you want some shoes? All right, so you sell this many teddy bears, we'll get this. Hey, if you sell this many teddy bears, this many flowers, guess what? We're gonna get a Happy Meal afterwards. I'm like, dude, let's go. So I would be motivated. My mom knew how to motivate me, and she taught me how to have people skills. You know, she taught me the art of sales, believe it or not, as a young kid. And at the time I hated it. I never knew that one day I was gonna be teaching how to close, how to have people skills, how to react to rejection. It's unbelievable how God was preparing me for my destiny through my mother and my father.
And that's what people got to understand in Primerica is the fact is, you know, you weren't really as concerned after a while about the rejection and the people that weren't going to buy the teddy bear. You had to find somebody who's going to buy the teddy bear or 2 or 3 or whatever the deal of the day was, because you were going to get a Happy Meal. All you could think about was the Happy Meal, the shoes. And that's what people in Primerica, if they get their goals down, get these things written down, play like their hair's on fire, and damn it, we're not going to be denied. The people who say, no, that's not crap, because it's only getting you closer to what you get. But until you get that teddy bear, that recruit, that sale in place, nothing's going to happen. So talk about that mindset of, you know, it's not about the rejection, it's about the ones that do come in.
Absolutely. I think too many times we get caught up, and to this day I get guilty. We get caught up on the rejection, the pain, and you got to focus on the reward. Honestly, like how good it's going to feel when you accomplish whatever it might be. And I'm so grateful that, you know, we didn't give up when it got tough. And don't get me wrong, guys. We're not saying that we're like, nothing ever hurts us, or we never fear, or we never doubt. That's a bunch of it. I think I fear more. I think I doubt more. I'm being honest with you. But the difference is I let my faith overcome my fear. I know that I glorify God by having faith in him and choosing to have faith and take action behind my faith over fear. And fear paralyzes people. You need to have a good, healthy fear. I believe that. Enough to move you, not enough so much fear that it paralyzes you and you can't do nothing. That's wrong. A lot of people, Andy, talk about they have a bunch of faith, but their life speaks differently. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but honestly, if you've seen my little boys, little Mario and little Max, a 6-year-old and 8-year-old, and you've seen them with like their hair's all messed up, their clothes is all tore up, and their dad and mom look so good, what would you think of my parenting? You would think like, man, what kind of father is Mario? See, how we are in this world is a representation of him. And we have an abundant God. I'm not here to press religion on nobody. That's not who I am. But how do you really show how you conduct yourself? We can have it all. And you don't have it all because the people you're associating with. I promise you, you got to make a decision like, hey, for a period of time, Franny and I, we made a decision that people that are not bringing value to our life or helping us or encouraging us to our goals and dreams, guess what? We had to cut them out. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of crazy. You know what's crazy? Hang around people like that and you'll never accomplish your goals and dreams. They're peer pressuring you to be mediocre. When your own family, with those same people, one day are going to be thanking you that you made a decision to separate yourself. And I'm not saying stop loving them, but learn to love them from a distance enough that they don't influence you to give up when things get tough, because that's where they come in. They're not going to come in when you're on fire and you're on top of the world. They come in and those negative thoughts and all that stuff when someone quit on you, when you have chargebacks, when things ain't going fast enough. And by the way, it's never going fast enough. You want to get depressed, you want to feel bad, start comparing yourself. There's not one person here that can't feel bad. Well, yeah, I'm doing good, but look at that person. Stop that. You're in a different chapter in your life. That person's in a, man, you never know. Maybe you're on chapter 3. They're already on chapter, 10, and you're comparing yourself. Your day is coming if you stay faithful.
Absolutely. And one of the things, you guys are a great team. And a lot of times people don't realize, we got mortgages now and they're saying that could end up being 30% of our income, and I was here when it was 30% of our income before, back in the 90s. I mean, maybe not, I don't know. Bo Adams said in the old days, securities would be half our business. You know what? That's pretty much where it is right now. Who'd have believed that, 30 years ago? We thought he was just full of crap, but he was right. And so it comes from different areas, but people get in segments. I mean, we get, I think 16 Vivint, texts a day about the newest contest. You get a Lamborghini for selling another one and a $50, whatever. But a lot of times people get distracted. You got POL, you got social media, which is why it's so critical to be a leader like you, why you got great team members that are developing and going to SVP, looking for PSD, looking to become independent leaders on their own. And that's huge, because so many people, and it's fashionable now, writing, 10, 20, some of them 50 on their pen and all that. That's fine for a period of time while you're building and doing things, but you got to build people. I mean, a lot of those people, they're going out and doing the 2, 3, 4 sales, and they get, 2, 3, 4,000, 5,000 premium. Let's go get those 5 IBAs. Well, those aren't recruits. And so what I'm going to, the question I'm going to throw out is, I can't tell you the number of people I've sat down with, and we sat down early in your career too, just talking about different things. And people have always asked me, well, with this direction, and there's so much noise, it's hard sometimes, especially if there's not a real strong leader upline or whatever. But I was director Larry Waddell, who's certifiably crazy and the recruiting guru for all time, But the people start these sentences and they always go, and they trash all these people that, like Andrea Burks just went over $1 million, and that lady's been through hell and back, man. She's been through so much crap. People almost taking her business away and just personal stuff, and people don't even know the story, but they bounce right into $1 million, and it's got a solid team of people that are growing in cash flow and stuff. But she and many other people that I've talked to over the years, they always start a sentence with, well, if I had your recruits, I'd be, and I always tell all of them, if anybody ever in Primerica starts a sentence with, if I had Mario's recruits, and I know they said it about you, if I had his recruits, anybody ever starts a sentence with that will never have Mario's recruits. Because it's a mindset about building. And when I look at your leaders who I've gotten to know and have so much fun with, and looking forward to get out of this COVID crap, to have some more fun and jokes and all that stuff, damn people independent running their business. That's what it's about. So if I had Mario's codes, or I had Mario's recruits, well, you ain't going to get them unless you have a mindset. So talk a little bit about that in building.
Wow, that is everything. See, everybody wants a bigger team. Everyone wants, like, man, I wish I had that. But see, God knows you better than you know yourself. Let me give you an example. If my son would say, Dad, I want to drive your Lamborghini. And my son's 6 years old. Even though I love my son, I would do anything for my son. And he says, Dad, please, let me drive your Lamborghini. And if I'm irresponsible and I hand him the keys to my Lamborghini, guess what happens? I'm going to kill him. He's not ready for that blessing. He's not mature enough for that blessing. Will he one day? Yes. But right now, he's not. See, sometimes we haven't had the opportunity to lead a big team because you haven't grown yet. You haven't grown in your heart. You haven't grown mentally to lead people. Let's be honest here, guys. If you can't even lead yourself, how is God going to bless you with his biggest and most admired creation that what he loves the most? It is his people. Think about that responsibility. He's not just going to put them on you and with you and like you slop it up. It ain't going to happen that way. So look, I would become a self-improved fanatic and start applying and copy. Look at the coaches you have. Andy Young, the greatest, man. I love Andy. Andy, look how much I love Andy. Andy's like, hey, I'm doing this. I'm like, all right, dude, there's like I have to be doing something. I didn't care, man. I'm literally here in my hotel room and I figured out anything. I'm not exaggerating. Look at this, Andy. That's how much I love you, dude. I'm in the restroom over here. I didn't care. I found out the best lighting, whatever I can do. I paid whatever I had to do. I'm like, I need this. I cannot let this man down. Why? Why am I that way? And I'm not even part of his team, but I feel like I don't want to let this man down. You know why? Because Andy, he's a servant leader. There's times that I needed him and he was there for me. I'm just telling you, the greatest type of leadership is servant leadership. And Andy, you represent that. I want to let you guys know you guys have the greatest leader in the entire company. There's no way you can fail. He don't need to do this. He's financially independent 10 times over, but he does it for us, to serve us, to help us. And what a shame that we don't give it our best. It's unbelievable, guys. We got to do that. So you need to grow yourself, because when you grow yourself, everyone around you grows and people are going to be attracted to be a part of your team. People are going to be honored to be part of your team. Like I'm honored to say that Andy Young is my friend. Guys, I'm having a big time business dinner. And guess what? Andy Young calls like, hold on, I need to answer Andy. And I talked to him yesterday. That's who he means to me. So guys, you need to understand what you guys have. We have something special. Something unbelievably special. And Andy, I want to read this to you and the team that is so powerful about team. See, it's not money. It's not strategy. It's not technology. It's teamwork that remains the ultimate competitive advantage. Both because it's so powerful and so rare. If you can get all your people in your organization rowing in the same direction, you can dominate any industry, any market, against any competition at any time. That's the power of teamwork.
That's right. That's what it takes to win. You got to have a team. Michael Jordan spent 5 years trying to beat every team in the NBA by himself, including the playoffs. One time he scored 86 points. But you need 4 other guys. They might not be as good as you. I mean, Mario is going to go out there and he's intense, he's self-improving, and these knuckleheads don't want to get serious or what. But you know what? More is going to be better. You need them to learn. Christian David took 7 years to figure out how to go to RVP. Well, I mean, sometimes people take that amount of time or longer. And so you get a big team, you got your environment, which is great. Mario's got that, and let them go see what they're going to do. So kind of wrapping up here. Damn, I thought you were the bank vault, not the other vault. That's good, Mario. I'm so proud of you. We got pictures, we got video. Mario on the toilet. Anyway, he's crapping whole life agents right now as we're talking.
That's right.
But anyway, have a confrontation with him and crap him later. Anyway, talk about what it's been like as to the things you grew up with, the prayers you had at night, the fears, why God didn't like you, and just all that, and how you've been able, because a lot of times people say, well, money's not everything. Well, typically that's people with no money. I mean, when you spend like a pile of 6 figures, like, my sister had some challenges, we had to do it. And Philadelphia was on fire with a bunch of crap going on earlier this year. The only place close by we could do was 3 blocks, was to hole up at the Ritz for like 50 days while she was going through all her treatments. And she loved telling the doctors and everybody in there, where you stay? Well, we stay at the Ritz, we eat at Capitol Grill, when pretty much the whole place is closed. I love that crap. I love the fact that she loved traveling and doing all things. And I could tell the story of, my mom was totally disabled when I was 14 years old, just went to bed for 3 years. And me and my brother had to learn how to cook, sew, and do all this crap. I never thought I had enough time, and I never thought that I had the people I needed. I mean, it was always a fight. And so where you came from, playing with your hair on fire, and then let's talk about some of the things that you've been able to do, mom, dad, brothers, sisters, foundation. Well, just talk a few minutes about what it's like to be Mario and write the check.
And, for a long time, you are who you hang around with. We hear this all the time, but I'm telling you, peer pressure is real. And I remember when I, growing up in the hood and being around, certain family and friends, like they took pride in being poor. I know it sounds crazy. That sounds crazy. Like we're like, they take pride, like, hey, we're from the ghetto. We're never gonna get. Like I'm telling you, like even the songs you would hear, the songs that I would listen to. I'm like, dude, I was subconsciously programming my mind that it's okay to be poor and it's cool to be poor. I'm being honest with you. And a lot of people that were poor, you know what they would say? I never want to be rich because, man, they have pride. But guess what? There's pride in being poor too. And that's horrible. And that's not from God. I'm just telling you guys, the best thing you can do for the poor is don't be one of them. Okay? Because there's no way you can bless your grandma when she needs help with her rent if you're poor and she's helping you out instead of you helping her out. That's embarrassing. I'm just letting you know. Our whole life, our parents, sacrifice so much for we can have a better life. And instead of us blessing our parents, we're still asking them for money. But you're cool. You're not cool. And I realized I had to look in the mirror and say, I'm not cool. I got to take my damn cool jacket off and go do something about it. And this was my opportunity. And don't get me wrong, I feared, I doubted. I didn't have confidence. Are you kidding me? Dude, my whole life, and I don't know if you know this, but man, I was so behind in school. I was embarrassed. My one topic that I couldn't read, man. I was not good at reading. And finally I went to this company and said, hey, we don't care about your grades, your background, the color of your skin, how tall you are, if you're skinny or fat, doesn't matter. I was like, what? They're talking to me. And then I signed up. And then on Saturday, they say, guys, if you want to win here, you need to be a leader. And leaders are readers. I'm like, oh, damn, they got me. I can't read that good. These suckers, they should have told me that day. What do you mean there's an exam? Oh, damn. Where's Franny? I need to take an exam. And guess what? I had all those doubts. I had all those fears. But guess what? You choose faith or fear. And because we chose to have faith when it got tough, when they quit, when we didn't think we were good enough. Man, it's so rewarding to be able to, here you go, Mom, what do you need? Oh, no. And I give her a check for 3 months of her mortgage. And she's like, oh my God, no. That's a lot of money, son. No, you don't need. And she puts it in her pocket. My goodness, that feels so good. It feels so good. Thank God I never quit. Man, to be able to buy my brother his car, the kid that they used to make fun of him with me in street corners. Man, Andy, feels so good. Say, brother, here's your car. Here's your car for my sister. Man, it feels so good that my parents look at me the way they look at me. Before, they used to look at me like, man, what the hell did we create? Now they look at me like as the pride of the family. And I don't take that lightly. I don't want to let them down. I want to get better. I want to inspire others that they can do the same thing for their family. God's not done with you. He's not. Stop putting a period to your life sentence. Guess what? Let me tell you something. He's not done with you. God doesn't put a period there. He puts a comma. The best is yet to come. Look who you're associated with. You know you have more in you. You know you want more. You wouldn't be on here if you didn't want more. Now it's time to take action and stop trying to figure things out for everything to be perfect. It ain't gonna be perfect. Go get it done. Go get it done. Follow the play. And you're gonna mess up at first. It's okay, as long as you're getting better and getting better. And I promise you, it's the most rewarding thing in the world. Man, Andy, I can't tell you how amazing it feels. Just to bless my grandparents, to bless my parents, to tell my dad and mom, like, hey, you don't have to worry. If there's every stress about that's why you come to me. Your son got you. All those times I wasn't there for dinner, all those times I wasn't there for every party, it's for moments like this. What do you need? Whatever you need, I got you. It feels so good, not just to say that, but to be that person. And you know you have what it takes to do the same.
Yeah, talk about just last thing. I think you took a little trip to Hawaii. Maybe you took your dad along. I think I remember a little story about that. That was one of the early bucket lists when the bucket wasn't very big. Just tell that story real quick. And then we're done. We'll let you get out of the bathroom after that.
So my pops, he's never had a vacation ever. And I got to reunite with him again. And he's the one that introduced me to the company. I actually got kicked out of 4 middle schools, Andy, in the San Fernando Valley. So I was forced to move with my father. And my dad never told me he was ashamed of me, but I felt it. I felt the way he talked to me, the way he looked at me. And when I joined this company, it gave me a fresh start. Honestly, I couldn't sleep. I'm like, this is my shot to make my parents proud again. And I worked my tail off. I got so much rejection. I got so many people quitting on me that said, Mario, I'm your guy. We're going to do this. I was praying for something like that. And then they quit on me that next day and they wouldn't answer me. And I'm like, dude, I freaking suck at this. Seems like everybody's good except for me. Everybody's winning except for me. No, my time was coming. And I won this trip. And it was the greatest feeling in the world to tell my dad, Dad, guess what? Your son, Junior, he's a success now. And he started laughing at me. He's like, ha, 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 success? You've been with that company a couple months. What do you mean success? He's like, clean your room, freaking success. What the hell, success? I'm like, Dad, calm down. I'm like, Dad, I'm going to take you to your very first vacation. Sit down. And he's like, son, where are we going? I'm like, Hawaii. He's like, son, you got to be kidding me. You really think you're going to go to Hawaii? You just with them for a couple months. He's like, they're probably going to take us to Long Beach and decorate like it's Hawaii. Are you kidding me? We're not going there, silly. They brainwashed you. Man, I packed his bags, guys. We got there and we got to the airport. And he's like, oh my God, are we really going? I'm like, yes. He was like, dude, I didn't even tell my boss. I'm going to get fired. It was the greatest feeling in the world. We got to Hawaii. He's seen the water. He got so emotional. My dad's the type of man that don't cry. But that day, he cried of joy. He cried of pride. He said, I'm so proud of you, son. And I promise you, Andy, they could have given me $1 million. Or that moment of my dad saying those words with so much pride, I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't take the $1 million. I keep that memory in my heart for the rest of my life, that I got to make that man proud like that. And it's priceless. And we got to do something like this. We just took our all of my parents, all of my parents on my side, all of Franny's parents, my grandparents. I got to take them to Cabo San Lucas and we put them in a mansion, guys. This is like a $10 million mansion on the ocean. We seen wells together. They were emotional. They never thought. My grandpa's 90 years old on my mom's side, and he was emotional. He's like, my grandpa's never cried. My mom's never seen my grandpa cry, and he was crying. He's like, I'm just so grateful. I never thought my eyes would see something like this. And the way you guys treated me like a king, I just never thought I would live this. And my mom couldn't stop crying. We went around the whole table. It was just so beautiful. And me and my wife looked at each other like, man, thank God when it got tough, we didn't quit. We recommitted. And now we get to bless others, to inspire others to do the same.
That's so awesome. I really appreciate you coming on, taking the time, setting up in the bathroom. Well, that's one of the, I think that goes up in the record book in my book for 40 years.
I got your back, dude. Look at this.
Yeah, it ain't no little bathroom, so that's good. But give Franny a hug for us. Love you, buddy. Appreciate everything you've done.
I appreciate you.
Yep, and we'll see you soon. Take care, man.
Thank you, Mario.
Thank you, man. Thank you guys so much for the honor. Appreciate you.
All right.
All right. That was awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Looking forward to going places. Coming back to Keystone, seeing them again. Looking forward to all that time. It is coming. So let's recognize some promotions.
All right,
let's do it. So out of the Mickey and Milton Peel hierarchy, we have Yama Darcy being promoted to district. That's
awesome.
Pretty good, wasn't it? All right. From the UCMG2, Paulina. I'm assuming that might be her solution number. Maybe, right? So Paulina, whoever you are, you will know. You promoted yourself to district.
Oh, way to
Congratulations. We love that. Wes and Shay are promoting Valerie Williams to district. Love the districts. And Peggy and Jaron King are promoting Tanisha Moore to district and Rolanda Mathis to division.
Awesome.
So congratulations
Great job,
to all of you. There we go. And then tonight we have a special announcement. We just want to say congratulations to Tim and Terry Sheridan on their $100,000 ring.
There we go.
The Cowboy ring for them. So that's very exciting. Congratulations.
Way to go.
Wishing that you could be here tonight, but next time. So Trish is about ready to announce the top teams. She's getting her papers together, getting organized.
Making a list, checking
you're
it twice.
You're
The
foreshadowing.
list and the computer and the everything else.
Rob is foreshadowing.
Yes.
Let me just double check, make sure. Okay, it's on.
Yeah. Donkey Kong. So I'm going to, though, announce the people 50 and above. So if you reported in 50 people or more, then I'm going to tell you their names. We have Weston Shea Florinord reported in with 52. William Kofer, actually that number's wrong. It's 60. David and Garcia Catan, 65. Daryl and Crystal Julian are at 68. So we come down to our top 2 teams. We have 70 RVPs report in tonight.
Wow.
So, yeah, very good. We have Walter Charles is reporting in with 100, and Belda Rubio is reporting in with 120. So these 2 base shops, if you text in on the line, Walter Charles and Belda Rubio only, those 2 base shops, or those 2 RVPs need to report in. I guess Walter's really a base shop, isn't he? He's an S.
They're base shops.
Yeah.
You had it right.
I did. So, all right. So we'll, I'm looking forward to counting those numbers, and I'll report back in just shortly.
Awesome.
All
Thank
right.
you so much, Trish.
Good job.
So you heard her. The top teams are Belda Rubio, the Bold team, and Walter Charles, the Liberators. If you're in one of those 2 base shops, I want you to report in right now. So hit the graphic if you would, Matt. Let us know who your RVP is and tell us your solution number. Send us a text to 404.
I already texted.
Oh, yeah.
Again, right.
If you, Trish, sorry,
Messed your
Darla
rhythm
said,
up.
Darla said, yeah, Trish has already deleted you if you sent it in before.
Too
So,
early.
yeah, now that we've decided who the top teams are, if you're a member of one of those teams, text us at 404-465-1830. Sound off with who your RVP is and sound off with your solution number. If you don't have a solution number, you can go ahead and put guess. But if you put, if you sent something in before we made this announcement, those got taken out. So we need you to vote in again. And when you vote, make sure you vote individually on your own phone. Okay, I can report myself, but I can't report Darla and my solution number on the same phone. She's got to use her phone. I got to use mine. That's how it's got to work. All righty.
Independent leaders.
Yeah, independent leaders. So you got about 20 minutes to make that happen. So do not delay if you want to make sure you take home that cup. All right.
All right, you guys, get it rolling. Back to the great Andy Young.
All right, guys. You know, it's interesting. A lot of you say, well, I want to be coach. And a lot of you out there say, I'm your coach, which I implore you. 2021, we need to stop. If you're not running the play and you're not having success because you're not working, which is the reason you're not having success, don't tell people I'm your coach. Please don't do that. Tell them, tell them anything. Tell them whatever. You're working on yourself. You got a new self-help book or whatever. A lot of people do all kinds of crazy stuff. You're doing another program or paying $5,000, $10,000. Some idiot doesn't know anything. Anyway, at the end of the day, if you want to play at a high level, you got to decide to do that. And Sylvia came through years ago, and just kind of had to figure a lot of stuff out by herself, which is fine. I mean, a lot of people have to do that. I know when I went to Maryland, Larry Weidel said, if you put 500 people in a room, I'll come see you. So 100 days later, I did. I thought he was serious. He's not even going to come see me. I'm a regional leader, get ready to go to RVP. I went to RVP direct, and he's not going to come and come see me, talk to people, any of that kind of crap. So at the end of the day, Sylvia and I would have lots of conversations about how to get things moving. I tell her game plans, what to do. And there's no movie from the mid-'60s called The Graduate. And the main character in there is Mrs. Robinson. And it's kind of for back in the day, it was a really interesting, kind of out there movie, way ahead of its time, and not necessarily a good way. And one of the things that Dustin Hoffman would say to Mel Brooks' wife, who was Mrs. Robinson? Anyway, she was the actress that played Anne Bancroft. And his girlfriend, that's Mrs. Robinson's his girlfriend's mother. And she pulls him aside, and Bill Benjamin, who's dating his daughter, goes, Mrs. Robinson, are you trying to seduce me? Like a little naive guy. And any time that Sylvia would come to me with some harebrained idea she'd seen on POL or some friend she was talking to or, somebody that was smoking crack and they had the new idea of the month at Primerica, whatever, and I would just be like, Mrs. Robinson, are you trying to seduce me? You coming to me with some crap? What the hell we doing here, girl? And I ain't falling for none of that crap, you know. And you know, even as we going through it, and the reason I'm saying all this is because I know there's a lot of you out there that are frustrated. A lot of you out there think you're doing some stuff and you're working. Sylvia's kind of a poster child. She might talk about this tonight. Since I'm leading her in that direction, she might say something about it. But, you know, we can paint the kitchen this weekend, or we can do anything else but go to work. And she was the one, as I already said, that said, well, I talked to 19 people. It's not 19. I talked to 722. I talked till I couldn't even talk anymore. I mean, 4,000 appointments. And Brad Gerard, who did such a great job for us on TV a few weeks ago from Canada, $1 million earner, who I've known for years, and, you know, he was thinking about quitting all this stuff when Art left. And he said when he first heard my story, 4,000 appointments and only 22 RVPs, 11 first, 11 seconds. Well, almost nobody in the company ever gets 11 first and 11 second, period. Almost nobody ever does. You hear about the stars out there. I'm talking about the masses of asses out there never get close to 22 RVPs. Okay, well, it took 4,000 appointments. So what? I don't give a crap because like Mario selling the teddy bear, if I'm going to McDonald's today to get a Happy Meal, I'm getting a brand new pair of shoes, why do I care about the person saying no? Why would I give a crap about the person not going to buy the teddy bear? I just need one more person to buy the damn teddy bear. And there's a lot full of people, same thing here. There are more people. I read an article yesterday, I captured it on my photo because I couldn't download it myself because I'm an internet idiot, but talked about how this COVID pandemic, from an employment standpoint, will be 4 times worse than 08-09 when it's all said and done. I feasted, built 22 RVPs, and if it's 4 times worse, instead of 22, I'd have 88 for the same appointments. I'm just telling you, talk to people. Get out there and get serious. And there's a new Sylvia in 2021. She's made a decision to move forward, do something great, and so proud. I know Belda would you call her my foxhole buddy, because I turned into she's your ditch, and I said something to rhyme with ditch, and it wasn't which. Your ditch, foxhole buddy. What the hell? Because if you want to be coached at me, plan on getting coached at a higher level. You want a pat on the back, and has a family, has a dog, had a dog surgery, go. That's what I do with almost everybody, and most of you. You want to coach at a higher level, well, we're gonna get together and, you know, get serious. And Sylvia is serious, and I love spending time with her. Got Lou and her for, you know, we had dinner the other night. Man, I'm excited about what they're doing and getting ready to do. So, without further ado, Sylvia Robinson.
Why, thank you, Andy Young. You're so funny. I want to thank you very much. It's so good to have you back, Andy. Like I told you when I saw you on Saturday, I didn't realize how much I missed you until I actually saw you. So it's good to have you back. I also want to say thank you very much to Matt and Darla at Night Glass, because you know what, having this environment and allowing us to stay plugged in throughout this COVID pandemic has really enabled us to build our business. And so it's hard to believe that it's been almost a year, but it's almost a year that we've been in this environment. So yeah, Andy's right. When he said I'd want to paint the kitchen, or I'd want to try this, or I want to try that. I really wanted to try anything except for what Andy told me to do, which is absolutely crazy because he was the one who had built the most RVPs. So now what we're going to talk about is appointments. And the most basic thing that we have to do is set appointments, because you can't start your business without being on an appointment. It's kind of crazy that is the most basic step. That's the first step you have to take, is being on an appointment, is setting an appointment. So when I look back and I saw where some of the holes were in when Lou and myself, we were building the team last year, we found out that a lot of people, we would do our onboarding when we recruited people, and then they would disappear and they wouldn't come back, or they wouldn't make the appointments. So we made a little tweak. The very first tweak we made was not that we set the appointments for people. We still run the who would pick you up in the middle of the night? Who would you call to need a favor? Who are the top 5 people you would call? we still ask those questions. But what we do is we have the field trainer just in the room with them. They're making the appointments, but the field trainer is there in case they have any questions. It's just like there's a buffer for them, a little bit of confidence that they're not by themselves, because you know what? This is something different. Primerica is deliberately different. And sometimes the very first step that you have to take is the hardest step. So having the field trainer just in the room or nearby, so that if they have questions when they set those appointments, there's a little comfort there. So they set the first couple appointments with the field trainer there. The field trainer is able to answer any questions, and then they set the rest of their appointments on their own. So that's the very first change we made with our new recruits, our new business partners that start with us. And then the other thing that we've changed is every Saturday, excuse me, I just misspoke. Every Sunday, we have something that we call Boiler Room. And Boiler Room is a high intensity level of phone calls. And that's what we do on Sundays from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Boiler Room. We set appointments. So we set appointments, we start at 1 o'clock. So from 1 to 2, we're on the phone, we're setting appointments. Now we have team, and you know what, first of all, I have to say hello to Team Believe. I know you guys are out there watching. Thank you very much. You're the reason I'm here. I'm sorry I didn't say that in the beginning, but we have Team Believe in several states. We have North Carolina, Louisiana, New Jersey, Florida, Wisconsin, of course, Georgia. And so the only way that we can get synergy with all of those states is we have Boiler Room on Zoom. So we meet on Zoom 1 o'clock, we put ourselves on mute, and then we start calling. We come back at 2 o'clock, and at 2 o'clock, it's how many calls did you make? How many appointments did you set? Now, the whole goal of that is to see if your conversations are too long and you haven't set any appointments, then the skill that you have to learn is how to extract yourself out of that conversation, get the appointment set. If you're not going to be able to set the appointment, how do you end the call? Because you're not there just to say, hey, how you doing, to catch up. You're there for a purpose, and the purpose is to set an appointment. So we do that from 1 to 2, then we'll come back, go back and call from 2 to 3, then we'll come back at 3 o'clock and then see how many appointments we've set. So we have, Andy just said that the goal for part-timer people is for 5 to 10 appointments a week. Now, the majority of teammates that I have are part-time. So what we have is, we have a contest, and whoever has not set 5 appointments, but who has actually gone on 5 appointments, right? So you go on 5 appointments, you get to spin the virtual wheel, right? What's the virtual wheel? Where you win things. Everybody likes to win something. There's the sign, right? Flashing sign, make me feel special. Well, spin the wheel. You win your Primerica socks or hats, or we even have some of the CDs that we used to have from Winston-Salem. Nobody's won the cash yet, but yes, you can win cash, or you can win gift cards. But the whole goal is to get people to want to spin the wheel, excuse me, and you get to spin the wheel by setting 5 appointments. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is, as we progress through the week, I'm checking to see, you started with 5, now where are you each day? And then from the appointments that you've set, what has actually happened? So you have to have a recruit, a sale, or referrals. If none of those things are happening from any of the appointments that you've set, then there's something that's going wrong. And I, as the coach, have to get in early and determine what exactly the problem is. So we do that a couple of ways. Number one, I've sent everybody to Get Big or Go Home so they can see the presentation. Number 2, practice the presentation, record yourself. It is so easy to record yourself doing the presentation. The third one is record yourself when you're on a meeting, and then myself and the person who's on the presentation will go through that together. I can answer any questions they have, and maybe I can correct some of the errors that are going on so that they don't keep going down the path that's incorrect. Excuse me. So those are the things that we're doing. So the other thing that we do is if we're not having a recruit, a sale, or any referrals, then I have to determine what exactly is the problem. And guess what? Most of the problem has to do with what's in our head. Like Art Williams says, anybody can smell a phony. And so it has to be, we capture people with the heart. Excuse me. So if you don't believe what you are talking to people about, then they are never going to believe you. So it has to be your belief level, because guess what? You will never outperform your belief level. So get out, set the appointments. Those are the first steps. Thank you, Darla.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Get her some water.
I know.
Some vodka.
Thank you. Thank you for being so specific. I think that's really useful for everybody who's kind of wondering how that's done and how you guys are starting to build and move your business. It's incredible.
Okay, I'm back.
Congratulations. Thank you. So this seemed like a good place for you to talk about the system, right?
Yep.
So the system's available to you at getbiggergohome.com. It's out there. Watch it all. You'll see Andy's reasoning, why he does what he does. It's 3 parts. The presentation is there. It's in audio and video. So there's really no excuse for not knowing it, practicing it, delivering the same thing every single time, embracing the repetition, being consistent. I also wanted to say that next week, here on the Tuesday show, we're going to dissect the follow-up. Andy and I will do the follow-up after our presentation that we did before, and then Rob and Andy and I will ask Andy questions.
Yeah,
and hopefully
unpack it. Figure out why he does it the way he does.
So make sure that you are here next week to see that, and then once that's done, we'll put that out on the website as well, so you'll have that. So one thing that we wanted to kind of started last week, I know, one thing that we started last week was, I call them before and afters, right?
Yep.
People who've been plugging in to Get Bigger Go Home, and what have their results been? So the great Wes Flournoy was nice enough to share a video with us, and he will get an all-you-can-do book from Art Williams. And because he did that, anybody else who would like to do that, just email it at tickets@nightclass.com, and we'll go over that in just a second. So Matt, why don't you go ahead and roll Wes, and let's hear what he had to say.
What's going on, Get Bigger Go Home family? I remember first plugging into the events. I knew nothing about nothing, brand new RVP. But as a result of following the system, we went over 100 recruits in a month, went over $100,000 Power Builder ring, promoting a brand new RVP with many more to come. So it's all about promoting those districts. There's 100% focus on recruiting. It changed the trajectory of our business forever. Now it's SNSD coming up.
All right, you guys. They were doing basically nothing. They were RVP, but they didn't have a lot of activity going on when they plugged in. And it's just being in the atmosphere, being in the system, right?
Yep.
Don't you think?
Then just got rolling, promoting RVPs, put the ring on.
Right?
Night and
Districts.
Yep.
So if we can go ahead to the next graphic, Matt, want to tell us and share with me how Get Bigger Go Home has impacted your business, please go ahead and send me a 30-second clip, please no longer, to tickets@nightglass.com. And if we use it on Tuesday or at Turning Up the Heat, another one that's coming up in February, we will send you an all-you-can-do book. That easy.
Yep.
Yeah. So please, we want to hear
It's
all
a
of your
real
stories.
book, too.
It is a real
Original
book.
pressing of an out-of-print Art Williams
the real deal.
classic.
So, speaking of which, next event. You guys have been great, saving the date, February 20th. Registration opened right before we went on the air.
Oh,
I
look
know,
at that.
right? Saturday, February 20th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We will once again be live from the venue. That was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Right? Have a handful of people in the audience with us.
Yep.
We will continue.
Socially distanced, of course.
Of course. We measured 6 feet. We all had a mask.
We'll have a section for people who are former COVID victims like me. So you can, Trish, we'll have a whole section. Where
Special section.
Yeah, with no separation.
Yeah, bring your positive COVID test or your antibody test, and yeah.
Positive, no, okay.
Everybody's going to drink out of the same bowl of Hunch Punch and
crap. Yeah.
Trish, when was the last time you had Hunch Punch?
College.
College. Okay.
Whoa.
All right, you guys. Andy is continuing to pour the heat on this. This event is free. Please go out and register. Get it done now. If you're a new RVP, fill out the RVP form and email it to tickets@nightglass.com so we can pull you and your team's numbers for recognition. Yep. The cutoff recognition date will be Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day.
So yeah, write that down. February 14th. That's obviously nowhere near any sort of month end, right?
Nope,
So you got to make sure you
get
It's Sunday.
Yep.
It's a Sunday night.
Yep.
So get about it. Let's go, go, go. It's going to be a great year. I think Trish has counted all of her little people.
Well, I've counted all the little people that reported in.
Well,
okay.
That's all there were.
So, it's a little lackluster, guys. I'm kind of surprised. But we'll go from here. So, Belder, you reported in with 120. I had 83 report in.
All right.
Then, Walter, you had 100 people that you had said you had logged on. And I have 104.
Whoa.
So,
poking at the bear.
The bear is poking back.
Congratulations.
Ursa Major is in, I don't know, what's that bullshit astrology stuff?
Yeah.
Constellations.
Ursa Major is ascending, and
I don't know.
I don't know.
So
the House of the Bear or
the
whatever.
bear, yeah.
So we're hoping
the dawning
to have
of the
our,
age of Aquarius.
Yes. We're hoping to have our supplier issue worked out.
Yeah.
We've had a horrible supplier issue. So
with the cups.
They'll all come in a bulk.
Yeah.
So
they'll get like 4 all together. Walter will get a couple as well.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So congratulations
very good,
to the
guys.
Walter Charles team.
There you go.
Very cool. All right. All right.
See?
The game's open for everybody though.
Yep.
Right? A lot of people, some people were close.
Will West Florida ever compete in that? Is it something?
Yes, he did in the past.
In the past.
Okay.
West did it in the past.
He's doing it.
Building.
He's building.
He's building.
He is building.
He's working
Maybe
on
he
it.
didn't know he could do it, or like it wasn't available to everybody.
I don't know.
He's working on it.
He's working on it.
His name was announced above 50.
All right. Well,
So.
that's nice.
Okay. So on that happy note, I want to end it with an Art Williams video because I was looking for something about appointments and building and the numbers, and I played that one for you. But the one that came out today really spoke to me because we talked a lot about this last week. And this one for tonight, I'm going to leave you with this video, and it's called "The Man in the Mirror." So y'all have a good night, and we will see you next week.
What's your definition of being somebody? Well, I've said the only person you can't lie to is you. So you can lie to your spouse, you can lie to your kids, you can lie to your family, you can lie to your friends, you can lie to everybody, you know. But the one dude you can't lie to is that dude looking you in the mirror every day, right? That person knows you. He knows your inner thoughts. He knows your inner fears, your inner feelings, your inner desires. And I think being somebody would have to be to look in that mirror one day and say, you know, I like that dude. I always wanted to be somebody. I always had a good feeling about me. But you know, I went out there and did something about it. And look, I don't care what anybody feels about me, what anybody says about me. I like that dude. That's the way I feel about Art Williams right now. That's being somebody.
I get letters all the time and people say, well, Art, you're on TV too much. You're our biggest problem at A.L. Williams, okay? You depress my ass, okay? I wish you would get off TV. Well, I understand that. See, I mean, a dud has to find somebody to blame because he don't look in the mirror and see a dud. He looks at Art Williams and says, well, the reason I ain't doing it because Art Williams is a damn dud. I mean, I can't admit I'm a damn dud. I know I'm a damn dud, really, but I can't admit I'm a damn dud because I gotta find. Well, I understand that. Okay, I understand that, right? But see, A.L. Williams was built to take the guy, not to be the best in A.L. Williams. You ain't got to be number one in A.L. Williams to become financially independent. You ain't got to be no mega talented human dynamo, okay? But you got to be the best you can be. You understand that? You got to be able to compete. You got to be able to pick yourself up off the bat when you get your butt knocked off. You got to be able to make a commitment. Does that make sense, Andy? See, you be the best you, and I think that's what the theme of the book, all you can do is all you can do, but all you can do is enough, right? But see, you got to do all that you can do, and you got to do a hell of a lot more than some of you are doing right now. You understand that? A.L. Williams believes in paying the producers. We believe in paying the ball busters, right? Now, you ain't got to go out there and be number one, but you got to be as good as you can be. You understand that? You got to lay it on the dadgum line, and you got to produce. You got to fight. You got to come back. You can't take a dud and make him a stud. We're going to deliver for those that deliver, okay? Now, please understand that, right? I mean, see, if you don't deliver, then, folks, if we give you something for doing nothing, then we take away from the dream we're selling, right? And we're not going to play that game at A.L. Williams, okay? We're going to I don't care who you are. I don't care what age, what color, what sex, what degrees you got. We're going to put a uniform on everybody that wants to try, that qualifies to come to the company. And we're going to put you out there on the field, and we're going to beat your fanny around. And we're going, the first year and a half, everything you touch turns to, right? And most of you ain't going to make it, okay? But those of you that want it, that want a chance that's for real, that's willing to lay it on the line, folks, you're going to love A.L. Williams too. We're going to deliver for you in a bigger, better, more magnificent way than we delivered for the winners and producers in A.L. Williams 1. And ain't no company delivered for their people that delivered like we did in A.L. Williams 1. I'm so proud of the company. I can't stand it. Every piece of flesh on this earth has a desire to be somebody. Sometime in their life, they had feelings that I'm special, I'm different, dadgummit, I don't know about everybody else out there, but I know I was put here on this earth to be somebody. And I believe every red-blooded American, you can't have this opportunity in Russia and Hungary and some of these other countries, unfortunately, but in the United States, every man or woman, I don't care where you're born, I don't care how limited you might be in terms of ability or environment or whatnot, but every single piece of flesh in the United States has a chance to take hold of your destiny, to control your destiny, to be somebody if you want to do something that most people aren't willing to do. See, I believe every red-blooded American at one point in their life ought to go out there and go in business for yourself. Folks, as long as you work for somebody, then you're not ever going to have anything but a living. You understand that? Somebody else is going to basically be in control of your destiny. The only way for you to truly be in a position where you're your own man or your own woman and control your own destiny is to go out there and take a chance, lay it on the line, and be somebody. Be successful in business. Go in business for yourself. That's what A.L. Williams was all about.